Pulau Paya and Pulau Santang is located between Langkawi and Penang, and it is accessible from Langkawi, from Penang and from Kuala Kedah. Mainly, most diving operators are operating from the mainland.
Our dive operation, we start the small business called Langkawi Scuba, and it's more like a private chartered kind of dive center. We based in Chenang Beach, in front of Melati Tanjung Motel. We have a small beach kiosk.
Iskandari Dive Center itself based at the Alostar Kedah around the Sultan Abdul Halim Airport. Most of the time we do the trips on the weekends. We depart from Jeragan Jetty. The journey usually take about 40 to 1 hour journey by our boat. At Iskandari itself, we offer trips, we offer courses like from beginner till dive master, few of specialty course like nitrox.
Not many people know that actually a lot more accessible than it used to be. Like for me, most of the time I dive from Alostar, I go to Juragan. There's a place on the not far from Kuala Kedah, and then we just take the boat down out into the island.
At the Pulau Santang, we have two different islands, which we call it Pulau Cupak and Pulau Santang. Tire Reef, Deep Plateau, and the Anemone Garden.
Pulau Santang, during the exploration, we did 4 dives there. And we found that the topography of Santang is unique. You have deep water plateau, you have cliffs and walls, you have crevices, and you have fringing reefs, all in one small island.
The reef profile in Santang is approximately around 45 to 50 degree slope. Island bay, small island in the middle, slope all around the island, 25 to 23 meters, sandy bottom. Still beautiful, a lot of soft coral there.
We were diving in Tire Reef and also at one of the pinnacles. We did see a lot of jacks, giant trevallies. We did saw big eye trevally in pairs. One is in silver color and the other one is in black color. They were swimming together and we suspect that the trevallies were mating. And we was quite surprised to see a few of them. And also, we did encounter schooling barracuda on top of the Tire Reef. The best part is, underneath there were brown marble groupers and you have the barracuda mid-water. Also, a few big eye jacks were mating around.
Pulau Santang is less visited. It is a good thing because the environment in Pulau Santang is pristine. One of the unique things about Pulau Santang is the anemone field that covers the entire circumference of the island. The fringing reef is basically filled with sea anemone. In this part of Malaysia, we have at least 4 different species of sea anemone. One is the bulb tentacle, which is home to the red anemone fish, which is also unique to this area. The other one is the Heteractis crispa, or the plate anemone we call it. It is host to the Clark anemone fish. In this region, the Clark's anemone fish are more colorful. They have yellow nape instead of the white nape that you find elsewhere.
Most of diving in Langkawi are done in Pulau Paya. My favorite dive site, diving at the jetty itself. You can spend days there because the items that interest most of the divers, be it pelagics or macro, are there.
Langkawi and Pulau Paya, Pulau Santang, in a unique geographical area as part of the Straits of Malacca as well as part of the Andaman Sea.
Around Pulau Paya, we have a few islands here. We got Lembu Island in front of Pulau Paya. And then on our left side, we have a Pulau Kacha.
Pulau Paya itself, we have about 4 dive sites. We have a Lobster Bay, we have a Coral Garden, Grouper Farm, Pulau Paya Jetty. Coral Garden itself is the most highlight dive site that we got in Pulau Paya, which they have a lot of big banded boulders covered with a full of different types of soft coral, especially broccoli corals, sponge coral, school of Fusilia. Lucky, there will be a school of jacks. yellowtail barracudas, a lot of marble grouper, which is pretty huge. Sometimes in one spot, you can spot like 5 to 6 grouper.
Coral Garden have two topography that is unique. One is the deep water plateau. Second is the cliff that full of soft coral. It is also home to a lot of animals like the moray eel, like groupers, giant trevally, and barracudas. Some of the deep plateau, the sandy bottom, are home to jawfish, blennies, and few species of nudibranch.
The best part about Paya is it can attract all level of divers, from beginners to experienced divers.
Paya and Santang would represent one of the best dive sites for anyone to dive on the west coast whenever the east coast becomes unavailable during monsoon and what have you.
During this exploration, we also make observation about the corals. We found that some areas of the reef, there are signs of recovery of the corals there. It is not that all parts of the reef is suffering from human devastation. There are signs that improvement has been seen from the coral itself, growing in the shallow areas, especially in Coral Garden in Pulau Paya and in the northern side of Pulau Santang. But without help, the growth will be slow and prolonged period of time will then also degrade it back. We need to help grow the coral again to populate or to propagate them in larger areas. In Pulau Santang, there is a huge net that was caught in the reef and has been remained there for months. If we did not help to remove these nets, it will accumulate and eventually destroy the reef.
Clearly, when we dive Pulau Paya and Santang, we can see it is more or less a marine paradise for the west coast. There is a lot of interest now for divers in the north, particularly in Penang and Kedah and Perlis. My hope, there must be something to be done with the enforcement to protect the marine reserve the way it should be. And I think there should be a more responsible fishing.
Other forms of pollution to the islands are from visitors. Discarded drinking bottle or any plastic that contain food when they bring it to the island was left behind and left to be on the beach. Waste management has to keep up with this, and also the awareness of the people so that to keep our beaches and our reef clean.
Another point that I would like to make as well is also about the importance of awareness among the public about the marine ecosystem and how each and everyone would have to play a role to ensure that the coral reef that we see today will continue to thrive. Everyone have a role to play, from the state, the visitors, the locals, to make sure that the coral reef that we see today, that is so important for as a part of the ecosystem for the rest of the marine life to thrive, will continue to grow, and it will also be there for others to enjoy in years to come.